Hello, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and welcome to another one of my album reviews. All right, folks, we are moving along with our retrospective look at a bunch of live albums that have been released over the years. Some of these live albums that I am going to talk about are, not easy to come by. Like the very first one I did, Brutally Live. The only way to get it that I know is to get it with the Brutally Live DVD. And then we did the classic, the seminal, the one and only Kiss Alive. This next one. Now, Kiss Alive was from a specific era. Brutally Live was one specific show. This next one is Guns N' Roses Live Era 87 and 93. We're talking predominantly the legendary Guns N' Roses with a few pause switch ups afterwards, because this album definitely will feature tracks with both Izzy Stradlin or Gilby Clarke, depending on when they're released. Now, I'm not going to go down in the breakdown of which songs were released which, because I'm going to be completely honest with you. The way this was mixed, the way this was produced, and the way this was put together, you could not tell that this is from a variety of different eras because it was done that well. This has got such a great mix on it with the levels and the production and stuff like that, that you could honestly believe that it honestly could have all come from one show, one giant long show. I'm thinking specifically, like, if you ever see the Live in Tokyo show, I believe that was a double VHS. They might have been able to put it on one compact disc. I don't remember. Either way, or there was also the Live in Paris show. Like this easily could have been that as well. What I'm trying to get at is all the songs on here sound cherry. Okay, I got this as soon as it came out, and that would have been back in '99. This was supposed to just buy some time for Chinese democracy back in '99. Okay. So don't expect any songs from Chinese democracy on here. All right, here we go. We got Night Train. Well, yeah, of course that's going to be on here. Mr. Brownstone. Yeah, you can't go without that. It's So Easy. I mean, even Velvet Revolver, I believe, was doing It's So Easy. Welcome to the Jungle. Well, of course, Welcome to the Jungle is going to be on here. And that one just revs up the crowd. Something fierce, man. Oh, the way they make that one sound live. Oh. Now, here's something. I mentioned when I talked about the Kiss Alive album, the overdubs. Theoretically, because of when this was released, this being released in '99, so you're talking 6 years after the last recording on here would have been taken, theoretically, this should be 100% just live stuff, no overdubs whatsoever, the pure stuff, man, 100% pure GNR live. And I hope it is, man, because the energy you can feel pumping off of here is absolutely insane. After Welcome to the Jungle, we take it down a notch with going with Dust and Bones, and I'm a little bit surprised Dust and Bones is on here. Kind of a cool choice, but a little bit surprising. Not one I would have thought of putting on here. My Michelle, another one where I get it, but I'm kind of a little surprised. You're Crazy. Woo-hoo. But you got to get a little bit of lies in there, right? Then you got Used to Love Her. Oh, yeah, speaking of lies. And Patience. Oh, yeah, talking about. Used to Love Her, Patience, and You're Crazy are kind of fun to have on there. I enjoy them. Patience is one of those songs that obviously they have to perform live. Used to Love Her is a fan favorite. Anybody can say what they want. It is a huge fan favorite. So you got to do it live. And it's nice to have them do the acoustic stuff live when, they're playing, in here. Then after Patience, we get on to It's All Right. This song, if you've watched any of my Black Sabbath reviews, I reviewed Technical Ecstasy, which is where this song originally came from. And it was funny because when I picked up Technical Ecstasy and I was singing it over and over again, I couldn't figure out how I knew the song. So it's because of this album. I'd had it on this album for years and never realized it was off the Technical Ecstasy album. And Technical Ecstasy was one of the very last albums I bought from the original Black Sabbath lineup. So it was really interesting that way that my go-to and default for this was the GNR Live. And it went on a few mixes just because, it was a song on here that you couldn't get anywhere else for GNR. And then disc one finishes with November Rain. I forgot to mention, this is a 2-disc set, man. There's a lot on here, and they pack these CDs full. November Rain, I'm not a fan of, just because, it's a great song. Fantastic. It's a work of art, okay? It got overplayed to death. Then we come back on disc one with Out to Get Me. Hell yeah. Pretty tied up. Another one I'm kind of surprised got put on here. A little bit. Yesterday's, that was I get why that one was. Move to the City. Another one I'm really glad is on here. Definitely would have been from the early days. And as the only way you can really get it prior to this would be on Lies, and Lies is a bit of a controversial album nowadays. It's kind of nice to get it this way. You Could Be Mine. Oh, yeah, I love that song live, man. Oh, yeah. And little fact, if most people know Slash for playing as Les Paul. Everybody knows that iconic. Interestingly enough, this has always been one of my favorite GNR songs, and it's one of the few songs he does not play a Les Paul on. He plays a BC Rich Mockingbird on this one, and I absolutely love it, man. It's one of the few reasons I've ever wanted to get a Mockingbird. I've always thought a Mockingbird from BC Rich is one of the cooler looking guitars without being one of those big, heavy bastards. I mean, my buddy had a BC Rich bitch bass, and that thing weighed a bloody ton, man. Holy. Moving on. After You Could Be Mine, you get to Rocket Queen. I love the extended intro on there, the jam, the working the crowd up. Oh, yeah, it's great, man. And it's Rocket Queen, so it's an awesome tune. It's one of those ones, though, where when you realize how often they had to play that song live, and when you consider the whole backstory on it, you kind of really got to understand and feel for Izzy and why he fucking said screw it and left the band. So I don't, as much as I love Rocket Queen, I understand also the pain that it can bring. Then from Rocket Queen, you go into Sweet Child of Mine, which of course has to be on there. I just skip it. Knocking on Heaven's Door, which is fantastic live, the way they work the crowd, stuff like that. So much fun, so good. Don't Cry, of course, Don't Cry has got to be on there. Estranged, I really dig Estranged live. Given a choice between Estranged live or Estranged off the album, I actually always go with the live version. I really dig it. I really just kind of like the ambiance behind it. There's just something magical, I think, behind that one version. And then you've got Paradise City to round it all out, because of course Paradise City is going to be on here. Are there songs I definitely would have switched out? Yes. I would have liked Coma to have been on here. And I would have easily would have given up You're Crazy, Dust and Bones for those, maybe. The song would have been a little longer, but there's a lot of there are definitely a lot of songs I could have switched out, would have switched out. That's me personally. Everybody's gonna have their personal choices. They're gonna have their favorites, their ins and outs and whatnot. The whole way around, if you are a Guns N' Roses fan, you should already own this album. If you don't, if you've never picked up a Guns N' Roses album, is this a good place to start? It's an interesting place to start. I think it's worth buying, though, the whole way around myself, personally. Would I buy it again? I would definitely buy it again. I consider myself lucky that I bought it before I got together with my ex-wife, because I didn't lose it in the divorce, which would have happened with most of my GNR albums had I not bought them while we weren't together, or before we were together, or etc., etc., etc. Anyways, folks, let me know what you think. That's what the comment section's for. Drop me a line in the comment section on your way down there. On your way down to the comment section, you'll find 3 links in the descriptions. Oh my God, my brain. One to the TWA, which is the Trampoline Wrestling Association. One to the Howling Odyssey, which is where my music endeavors go. And one to my Patreon, which is where you can go to subscribe and download my stuff. Other than that, if you could hit the like button, the subscribe button, the bell for notifications, I'd greatly appreciate that. Peace, love, Take care, and I'll see you for the next live album.